Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this is Nathan Chu again. I'm coming into you with another podcast or another video on YouTube about the ACT matrix. Okay, so if you're interested about knowing why I'm creating this video, well, you're here. That's why you should be interested. It's because um well, we're going to talk about the ACT matrix and how it applies to couples. Maybe for the first time, I'm sharing this on a video or a podcast. Okay. So, for those of you who are familiar with the ACT matrix, this probably looks familiar. And for those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Nathan Chua or Nathaniel Chua. I'm come to you from the Philippines, and I'm a counselor here. And my website is onelifeonly.net. If you're interested in anything about what I do and what I can help you with in terms of your personal relationships and also your uh, individual problems or family issues, that's where you can find all my contact information. Okay. So today, what's so special about this matrix is I'm going to talk about the ACT matrix hold on, for couples. All right. Okay. So I guess I'm not sure how many videos there are online where you can find the ACT matrix that deals with couples. Now, you might be interested how the ACT matrix can help you as a couple. By the way, for those of you who are from the Philippines, I'm speaking to you in English because this is sometimes posted on a Facebook page that people can watch all over the world. So, pasensya na po. For those of you who would prefer Taglish, I'll try as much as possible to say some things in Tagalog. So, pero about 90% of this will be in English. All right. Okay, and I'll try as much as possible to translate everything that I say in English. Okay. So, sige. Where were we? Ito, Act Matrix for couples. So, what is mostly the problem when couples come to see me for therapy? Well, the one biggest issue they have is usually, all right, guess what? Away or fights. Taran! Anything new? All right. So most couples come to therapy because they have been fighting like there's no end to their conversations or their discussions or their conflict. It's almost like they're going around in circles. All right. So with the ACT matrix, they're going around in circles over here on the left side. These are the away moves. All right. And when we're focused on this, we're really focusing on avoiding pain, which comes with any relationship. All right. And when we avoid pain, we do some avoidance strategies. All right. So we show this in our actions. All right. And then we tend to forget the toward moves, which are those directions that we want to take in our lives, in our relationships, and the kind of actions that we want to, let's say, take in order to go towards those value directions. And for those of you who are new to the matrix, down here, these are all invisible. These are all inside. Nobody sees that except the person who's feeling it or who's thinking about it. All right. So, and this one on the outside, these two quadrants on the top represent things that you can see with the camera or your partner or spouse can see. you doing? You could be doing some avoidance strategies, or you can be doing something that more is like a valued action. All right. Okay. So for those of you who are new, and maybe let me tell you, let me give you some examples of how this works for couples. Now let's start here on the lower right hand quadrant. Okay. So this is the value directions that you want. Okay. So usually it's about being a loving spouse. Of course, right? Or you can say that my partner or spouse is someone who's important to me, right? Okay. All right. So being a loving spouse, being the partner you want to be, those are all inside your head. Okay. All of us have these aspirations. Okay. All right. So the thing about this is these are, oh, hold on. Anyway, these are some things we do have inside, uh, probably the very first day you met your spouse or your partner, right? You're dreaming about riding off into the sunset. You dream about having a very loving relationship with your partner. Okay. So these are mostly inside, like our aspirations about what we want to be about in our lives. All right. Okay. So now, when we are conscious of this, when we are aware of this, see this whole thing about the matrix is really about being aware or conscious about what you're doing. It's like you have like a a top view of what's going on in your life. All right. So now, when you have these value directions and you're being a loving spouse, then what do I see you doing? All right. Maybe. All right. You could be having open and honest communication with your partner, right? Okay, so talking to your partner, right? You could be uh, going out and doing dates with your partner, right? Okay, so these are some of the things that I can see you do with a camera. Okay, so we'll go to this. This is very critical. Open and honest communication. Because honestly, although it sounds so, let's say, self-evident that couples would have open and honest communications with each other, it's not always something that couples do. Why? Uh, because there is pain, there's avoidance. So let's go here. So some of the pain goes like, okay, when you're in a relationship, because we've been watching too many Disney movies, all right? So I can only be a better partner if my partner changes, right? Let me move this a little bit. All right. Okay. So this is a common thought among couples. All right. So I'll change only if she or he changes, or, you know, I'm not being gender specific here. Okay. I'll change only if they change. All right. Okay. Uh, Another thought that usually, we've been, let's say, sort of uh, be taught through the movies that we see, the rom-coms, the fairy tale movies that we see, that My relationship should never disappoint me, right? Okay, so these are thoughts, all right? And that's okay. These are all normal thoughts. These are thoughts that we all have when we are in a relationship, okay? Uh, I should have the perfect relationship, okay? There should be no pain in this relationship. But as soon as you get married or you settle down with someone, you will see that you will be hurt, or you will be angry, or you will be sad, or sometimes even lonely, right? When your spouse is away and you're not always together 24/7, right? That's impossible. So, even a relationship, you can be lonely. All right. Okay. Now, what are the things you can do to avoid such pain? All right. Such painful thoughts. If only I can have a better partner, or if only my relationship never disappointed me, right? So now this one, since it's on the outside, you will nag, you will yell, you will demand, you will withdraw. That's another strategy. All right. So these are some of the things that happen when you try to avoid the pain in a relationship. And it makes all the logical sense. Just like Stephen Hayes said, yes, it's logical, but it's also pathological. All right. Okay. So again, for those of you who are familiar with the matrix, hold on. Okay. So this is now, you now have a bird's eye view of what's going on in your relationship. Okay. This side, if you spend too much time, like I said, I'm not sure if I said it before, the matrix is not about perfection. Okay. It's not like you're going to be here all the time, everywhere, with everyone in your family or in your relationships. All right. It's how much time do you spend over here and how much time do you spend over here out of the 24 hours? Because we're just human. We all make mistakes. All right. So now, so again, that familiar arrow, you go there. All right. And then, of course, you nag and yell. And does that take away this forever? No, it comes back. So you're stuck in a loop. All right. So you guys probably know that from my old YouTube videos. All right. Well, they're not that old. I just did them a couple of weeks or a couple of months ago. All right. So you're stuck in this stuck loop. So my relationship never disappoint me, and then you demand, and then again your partner disappoints you, and you go back to the same thought, and you feel hurt, sad, lonely. All right. So you feel lonely. You go on that dating app because your wife's not around. You try to flirt with someone online. Okay. So the loneliness, does that ever never come back anymore? Of course it does. You always, there will always be times you'll feel lonely in the relationship, or you're on a different shift. Your partner works on a night shift and you're on a day shift. Okay. Of course you'll feel lonely. All right. Okay. So here's how couples get stuck. This is something that's unique to couples. All right. So when you remember, there are two people here involved, you and your partner, right? You probably have the same thing in mind, right? Okay, let me encircle these so you don't get confused. All right. Okay. All right. So these are, both of you would have the same sort of matrix going on here. Okay. So let's say if I can have a better partner, if my partner only changes, uh, I'll stop nagging. All right. So then you nag. So you think that nagging will help your partner change. Well, usually it doesn't work. Why? Because when you nag, what happens? Your partner will feel something too down here. There's a pain going on there because you're being nagging to your partner. Okay? And what's that? You feel defensive, right? Or you feel guilty, or you feel like ashamed, all right? So you feel like there's a need to defend. I must defend myself. That's a thought, all right? Okay. So your partner will feel defensive. So what do you think your partner will do? Unless your partner is the Dalai Lama, all right? Your partner will mostly, hold on, will mostly, when he's defensive or she's defensive, defend, right? Your partner will make defensive remarks, right? So, yeah, hold on, right? Okay. So, when your partner defends, what do you think will happen? You will also feel dismissed, maybe, right? So, let me put that here, feeling dismissed or feeling unheard, right? We don't like feeling that. So, that's a feeling, painful feeling, and that's an away feeling, right? We usually run away from that, feeling dismissed, feeling hurt, feeling angry because, I learned this from Gottman. When you defend, uh, you tend to, uh, it's like saying that your partner is wrong and you're right, and your partner's stupid, right? So of course your partner will have, who does this person think I am? Does he or she think I'm stupid, right? So that could be here too, right? So your partner will feel dismissed, and then what do you think your partner will do? Of course your partner will defend also, right? And then so and so it goes. So usually when you do an away move, you get another away move. See? So you get really tired of this. All right? Okay. Now in my work, I learned it from IBCT. All right. We need more open and honest communication. All right. More open and honest communication. Why? Can you notice this? Nagging, yelling, demanding, withdrawing, defending. All of these are very hard emotions. All of these are meant to protect you or avoiding these painful feelings. So these are very hard emotions. And when we are doing open and honest communication, these are statements that your partner usually doesn't see. You get it? They know you. They know you're the nagger. You're the yacker. You're the demander. You're the withdrawer. You're the defender. Uh, when I do IBCT, what that's something that an IBC therapist would say. You know, well, your partner already knows that part of you, that nagging, yelling, demanding, withdrawing, defending self. All right. Now, what your partner usually doesn't see is that person who's being open and honest. And what is that? And you probably heard this before in a lot of, let's say, self help videos or books. We, your partner doesn't see the vulnerable side of you. Okay. In IBCT, there's a saying that goes, let's focus on the wounds rather than the arrow. Okay. So instead of saying like, "Oh, you're such an inconsiderate partner or spouse," you know, you didn't you don't text me the whole day. You always forget, to at least say hello or at least ask how I'm doing. All right, in the office, you're such a sad, pathetic partner. Okay, so that's more like an avoidance move. All right, that's more like a hard emotion that you're showing, an angry emotion. That's the angry you talking. But if you were having an honest communication with your partner, you would say something like, when you don't text me, I feel hurt. It gets kind of lonely here. I wish you could text me sometimes. All right. Or if you were the victim of an affair, not victim, maybe you have been the betrayed spouse or the offended partner in a relationship. A more open and honest communication with your betraying partner is, well, you know, I really wanna, I really care about this relationship. I'm really hurting though, and I just want to ask these questions because I just want to have that assurance that this will never happen again. All right, and I'm really working hard to kind of like not have these, you know, painful emotions make me do these things. All right. And for those of you who are the betraying spouse or the betraying partner, okay, the offending partner, instead of being defensive, infidelity goes on a lot in many relationships, especially with the advent of social media. It's very easy to get access to, flirtatious conversations, uh, you know, uh, revealing photos, all of those. All right. So instead of being defending, you can say, I'm really sorry. It really hurts me that you're hurting. These are very vulnerable things to say, and it's hard to say, depending on your history, on how you grew up, or your history as a couple. You grew up in your family without mentioning a lot of the uh, difficult emotions, or knowing how to notice your emotions and be able to distinguish one emotion from another. Okay, you what you want really here is that I'm hoping that with what I'm doing, we could start moving on with this, with what we had before this thing happened. You know, because that's the thing. Both of you, the betraying and the betrayed partner. If I were to put it in one word, what you need is assurance. Okay, the assurance that for the betrayed partner, the assurance that this will never happen again. And by defending, you get caught up with, let's say, details. Oh, okay, I thought you said it was 6 o'clock that you saw this girl. I thought you went to this place, not this other place. So you're focused on the details, but instead, what you really want, when you start asking those questions, it's really you're you want that assurance that this will never happen again. And by your spouse or your partner defending, you're going to end up with very inconsistent information, of course, because our memories are limited. All right, and then you argue about, oh, you said that and now you're saying this. All right, so it will never stop. Right. On the other hand, for the betraying spouse, if you keep defending yourself, that's what you get. All right, you get into the nitty gritty, the details, but you never get into the your partner never sees that you are so guilty. You are so eager to go on with your what you had before the discovery of the affair. All right, and you're so sorry, and you're really working hard to make her feel that that would be the last time it will happen. All right, so yeah, so that's about it for couples. That's how you get stuck. Usually an away move gets another away move. So when you start doing this, then maybe it's easier to be loving to somebody who's being open and honest and hurt, rather than somebody who's showing nagging, yelling, demanding, withdrawing. Okay. All right. So that's about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. This is for couples, and I segued to a little bit of infidelity. So this is Nathan Chu again. I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to the next one, and hopefully you can visit my website onelifeonly.net to know more about what I do and how I can be of help to you. All right. So I'm signing off for today, and you take care and have a great week ahead of you. Bye bye.